Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
I could only reply, Nicole, you shouldn't have come today. If Nicole had not come, she would not need to die. Nicole understood his underlying meaning. In the end, they were not even friends. Nicole sneered. Could you at least let me die with clear understanding? Who are you? Nicole had to figure out Ike's identity and the person behind him. I'm sorry, no can do, Ike replied with a cold and penetrating gaze. He was not a fool who talked too much. He would not expose a thing even if the other side were dead. Nicole smirked. Ike sure is airtight. At this moment, she saw the drones discreetly getting closer. She could not help but smile sarcastically. In that case, don't blame me later on. With that said, Nicole stepped forward, drew a gun from somewhere, and aimed it at Ike's temple. The leader was stunned. Let him go. The professor was an important person. The leader would be in trouble if the professor died here. Nicole chuckled coldly. If you don't talk here, you'll have to suffer the consequences. She slowly brought Ike back to the car step by step. Get in the car. Ike gritted his teeth. He had no choice but to comply and got in the car, still snorting. Nicole, your car's damaged. You can't escape. Nicole replied, let's see. She gave Jared a look. He immediately opened the passenger seat and got in the car. Do you think hiding there would be of any use? The leader was furious. I could just blow you all up with a single shot. The leader was cornered, thinking that Nicole and Jared were treating him like a fool. He had no idea why they hid inside the car. All of a sudden, there was a burst of gunfire behind them. Boss! A drone! A subordinate called out upon spotting it. There was a drone with a machine gun coming straight in their direction, opening fire on them as it approached. Take cover! The leader bellowed. Immediately after telling everyone to take cover, he also jumped in the car. However, the number of drones was increasing outside, surrounding their car. The slow runners were all shot to death. Even those who got in the armored car had varying degrees of injuries. Ike was dumbstruck. He had no clue where these drones with machine guns appeared from unexpectedly, surrounding them. No wonder Nicole took him to the car. He was still thinking about why Nicole took him into hiding. Unexpectedly, Nicole had known that her reinforcements were here to help her. Ike realized that she had tricked him. If he was captured by her people, the consequences were far more than just suffering. With that in mind, he wanted to bite his tongue and die. However, Nicole seemed to notice and gave him a strike to the back of his neck with the edge of her hand. Ike's eyes widened and he passed out. Jared let out a sigh of relief after seeing Nicole's swift movements. He was relieved as he looked out the window, seeing the terrorists under attack. Zane came just in time. Nicole smiled. Duh. Zane has never let me down. As the two talked, the black fleet in the distance stopped the gunfire. All of the terrorists were dragged out of the cars and forced to kneel on the ground. The leader's arm had been injured from the shooting before. He endured his pain after being caught and said defiantly, Do you know who I am? How dare you lay a hand on me? I won't let you live another day. Zane calmly emerged from his car, sporting a black windbreaker and an air of authority. So who are you? I really want to know, considering you had the nerve to touch one of mine. The leader's eyes widened in recognition. Impossible. Why are you here? Zane smirked. Looks like your people haven't sent you the message. The leader's expression changed. You captured my men? Zane replied pleasantly, What do you think? If they had not caught the mole before leaving, their plan to support Nicole would have been exposed. Nicole had now stepped out of the car, her lips curved slightly as she heard Zane had caught the mole. She knew Zane must have been busy catching them. Thankfully, they made it in time. Zane saw Nicole unharmed and said, You did a great job. Nicole shook her head. Fortunately, you guys came in time. I'll leave him to you. Nicole gestured for Zane to look at Ike inside the car. Zane nodded. He did not recognize the person, but he would find out more when he investigated later. "Take them away," ordered Zane. His subordinates approached and captured everyone, including the leader and Ike. The leader stared at Zane with hate. "You'll see. Do you think this is the end? No way. That person will definitely avenge me." Zane's expression darkened. Nicole looked at the leader. "Is that person a male who wears a black mask?" The leader's expression changed slightly after hearing Nicole's words, but he refused to say anything and left a cryptic comment. "You'll find out soon enough." The leader and others were taken away. Nicole felt unsettled as she looked at the leader's expression. Zane asked, "What's wrong?" Nicole spoke slowly. "I think maybe the black-clothed man isn't the mastermind behind this." Although the leader's expression seemed stunned with a bit of worry, it did not have a hint of panic. "Zane, you should go check out who the masked man who attacked me at the port was. He may have connections with the one behind this." "All right, I will." Zane nodded. "I'll go find out. But if the mastermind was someone else, it could be troublesome for us." That only meant that the person behind these two was a stronger and more powerful existence. To be able to have two strong forces work for him, this person must be more powerful than them. "The worst thing is that we have no leads," said Zane. Nicole looked at Zane. "Well, it's not that we have nothing now." Her eyes stared at Ike, who was being taken away. "The one I knocked out appeared by my side a long time ago. I just didn't realize that he was one of them. Maybe the mastermind is an enemy we came across before." Upon hearing this, Zane's expression turned grave. "I'll make him come clean." Nicole shook her head. "He won't, but you can try. No matter what happens, spare his life." They were friends, after all. This was her last benevolent act to him. Zane could tell that Nicole was no stranger to this man. He remained silent and simply agreed with a calm okay. Nicole was tired after finally letting loose. Just then, Jared came over and held her. "How are you feeling? Are you all right?" Nicole nodded. "Yes. I'm fine. Let's go back." The robots had been rescued and would return to Lanningborg on their own. Zane would be helping them too. This matter had finally come to an end. "All right." Jared nodded and said to Zane, "I'll leave this to you. We'll go rest, back at the hotel." "Go ahead." "Thank you for your hard work," said Zane. He noticed that Nicole did not look fine, so he just let them go. As Jared supported Nicole to turn around, he suddenly remembered something. "Zane, if you have time, let's talk at night." Nicole was pregnant, and there were some things that Jared had to be clear about with Zane. Zane looked at Jared's serious expression and sensed that he wanted to talk about things he did not want to hear. Yet he still nodded at his request. "Sure, I'll invite you out once I finish up." "All right." Jared nodded. He then took Nicole to a car driven by Janice. After getting in the car, Nicole asked Jared, "What are you going to talk about with Zane?" Jared raised an eyebrow. "What do you think?" Nicole sighed. "Is it about retiring?" Jared had talked about this before, but Nicole planned to tell Zane after the mission was completed. However, now that she was pregnant before the mission was completed, she knew they needed to talk to Zane about it. Jared replied, "Of course. Do you think you and your child could wait?" Jared could never allow his wife to bring his kid on missions to capture criminals. "But the mission isn't complete." Nicole sighed. Jared replied, "It's halfway done. Plus, I'll help Zane." Jared's only wish was for Nicole to rest. He would not just ignore Zane. Seeing Jared's sincerity, Nicole could only compromise. "All right, we'll talk when we meet up with Zane later." Nicole believed Zane would have his own considerations, so they could discuss it tonight. "Yes." Jared nodded in agreement. His only thought now was to bring Nicole back to the hotel and let her rest properly. Soon, they reached the hotel. Jared got out of the car first and went to Nicole's side. As Nicole was about to get out of the car, Jared bent down and picked her up in his arms. This sudden embrace left Nicole in an awkward position. Many guests in the lobby were looking at her. Nicole said in embarrassment, "Let me go." This is too humiliating. Jared said, I don't feel ashamed at all. Jared continued to carry Nicole in his embrace until they got in the elevator. Only then did Nicole's blush lessen. Jared laughed at the sight. You'll have to get used to it. Jared was thinking of carrying her out whenever they went out. I'm not going to allow this weird habit. I'm pregnant, not disabled. Nicole rolled her eyes, thinking Jared was being too dramatic. If you dare to come out for a risky adventure in the future, be prepared to be carried around by me. Otherwise, I won't let you take the risk ever again. Nicole was dumbfounded. Why you? You're being a scoundrel. Jared teased. So what, if I was a scoundrel? Are you going to bite me? Nicole ignored him until Jared got her back in the hotel room, laying her gently on the bed. He then poured her a glass of water. You must be tired. Have some water. Nicole felt a little better and took a break while drinking some water. Meanwhile, Janice called Jared to report on the situation. Lawrence's people had already left. Zane searched the entire base, taking away all the pieces of information and looking for clues. All right, no one from the base should stay. Don't let the information leak out. Yes, sir. Janice nodded and hung up the call. Meanwhile, Nicole was looking at the computer screen. The robots had been guided by Zane's people to the ship's cabin, on its way back to Lanningborg. Nicole finally felt at ease and left Carl a message. This matter had come to an end. Feeling tired, Nicole yawned. Jared took a pillow for her and smiled. Are you sleepy? You'll start to feel drowsy at the initial stage of pregnancy, so you need to rest more. Nicole sighed. There's no need for you to say it. I'll sleep anyway. She rolled her eyes and went to sleep. Jared watched as she lay down and could not help but lay down next to her, gently holding her in his arms. With Nicole in his arms, he finally relaxed. I was so afraid when you appeared at the entrance of the base. I was really scared that something might happen to you. The old Jared used to fear nothing. But after Nicole appeared in his life, he now had his Achilles heel. Nicole noticed Jared seemed to be enduring something all this time, but she now only realized that he was worried and scared back then. Nicole patted his hand. I was too. How could I ignore you when you were in danger inside? Nicole was concerned about her baby, but she could not resist going over and helping out. How could I let our man do something so risky for my sake? Jared only wanted to help Nicole in this entire situation. Nicole could not just let him go. Jared now knew Nicole's thoughts and instantly hugged her tight. I promise you, I won't be put in such risky situations in the future anymore. But you have to do the same. Can you? Previously, he did not mind if he was injured. But today, he desperately escaped from that place for her. He knew that he had to protect himself to protect her. Nicole could feel Jared's heart, so she promised him, all right? I'll promise you too. Neither of us should take any more risks. Although she still had worries about retiring, for Jared's sake, if Zane agreed, she would quit. To be frank, for Jared's and the baby's sake, she would stop putting herself at risk. Pinky promise, Jared whispered childishly in her eyes. Nicole nodded cozily. Jared stopped talking and hugged Nicole tightly, relaxing and falling asleep. Nicole also went off to dreamland, surrounded by Jared's warm embrace and falling asleep. When Nicole woke up, the sky was dark. Nicole glanced at her side to find Jared gone. She hesitated, but did not overthink it and thought he must have things to do. She got up and walked out of the living room. Nicole's stomach was rumbling, so she wanted to order dinner. But she suddenly noticed a note on the table. I went to meet Zane at the first-floor restaurant, Presidential Suite. Nicole pondered for a moment, knowing Jared would not object to her presence. She too wanted to know Zane's thoughts, so she simply went downstairs. Inside the first-floor restaurant's Presidential Suite, Jared and Zane were sipping wine and enjoying the scenery. Zane showed his respects to Jared. Thank you. Without your help this time, I wouldn't be able to complete my task this easily, nor would I have been able to catch the double agent doing this. Jared smiled. As long as we're able to find out who the double agent was. Zayn had hoped that Interpol would have some conscience and not threaten Nicole. He noticed that Jared had wanted to say something. "Mr. Johnston, I'm not quite sure why you've invited me here. Was there something important you wanted to tell me?" Zayn continued. Jared noted Zayn's question and knew that he had not much time left. Thus, he cut straight to the point. "Nicole and I have already registered our marriage. We're going to host a wedding reception soon, and we want to cordially invite you to attend." A smile crept across Zayn's face. So soon. Zayn was well aware of Nicole and Jared's love story, but he had not foreseen that their wedding would happen so soon. On top of that, Nicole had not made a peep about it. It's been happening quite fast since. Jared pondered for a moment before continuing. Nicole is already pregnant. Though Nicole has yet to have her prenatal visits back at San Joto, the chances of being pregnant is more than 90%. At this moment, Zayn was stunned. He never would have thought Nicole would be pregnant. "She's pregnant." "Yeah," Jared said, not withholding any information from Zayn. "That's why we can't hold off the wedding any longer. We hope you understand." Zayn went silent, noticing that there was something wrong with Jared's voice. He spoke up and said, "If I had known she was pregnant, then I wouldn't have involved her in such a dangerous task." Zayn was blaming himself. He was regretting his choices, as he had always treated Nicole like his daughter. He had brought up Nicole since she was a child. He knew how much she had contributed to the organization and the countless risks she had experienced before. However, when Zayn thought about a pregnant Nicole, his heart ached. Why didn't you talk her out of it? Jared saw that Zayn really cared about Nicole. He took a deep breath and said, "She told me that she planned to tell you about withdrawing from the organization after the mission's over." Withdrawing? Zayn had roughly guessed what Jared wanted to ask him, but when he heard those words coming from Jared, Zayn felt lost for once. Yes, she's not a baby anymore. She's not the girl she once used to be. How could she forever stay by my side and live out a life like this? It's happened before. When Lloyd found out about this background and identity, he quickly left the organization. But for Nicole, she had since gone home to her family, not caring about any wealth or riches, but not withdrawing from the organization all this while. It must have been really hard for her to come to this decision. Jared noticed the look on Zayn's face. "I guess that he had always been prepared for this moment," Jared guessed. "Since you already know, I'll say it directly. When do you plan to tell Nicole to withdraw?" Zayn fell silent for a moment when Jared questioned him. Though there were a number of people working at the organization, there was only Nicole who could complete her tasks so well. Zayn smiled wryly. "Nicole's irreplaceable." Jared instantly knew how much Zayn valued Nicole. He could not help sighing. "I'll continue to help you, but as for Nicole, I can't let her continue to keep taking risks like this." Why can't he understand this? "I know. She had done a lot for the organization." Zayn looked away, looking a bit lost. "That's why I feel even more reluctant to let her go, because we need her, but I don't want her to continue sacrificing herself to the organization anymore." Zayn sighed deeply, as if he had made his decision. "If she wants to come back, I'll welcome her back with open arms, but of course, I'll send her my blessing. Nicole had been with me for so long. It's about time I gave her back her freedom." "Zayn." A gentle voice suddenly called from behind. Zayn turned around instinctively. He had not expected Nicole to be already there standing by the door. Nicole had been thinking of how to break the news to Zayn when she was walking, but to her relief she heard such words from Zayn as soon as she pried the doors open. Zayn looked at Nicole like a father looking at his daughter. "Nicole, what are you doing here?" Jared looked at Nicole as if he had been expecting her. "I knew she would come personally." Jared walked up to Nicole and supported her before turning to Zayn and saying, "Then I'll take you on Nicole's behalf." Nicole looked up at Jared. He's just gotten Zayn's approval and couldn't even hold his horses. Nicole noticed Zayn's embarrassment. She could not bring herself to speak. "I'm sorry, Zayn," Nicole blabbered out abruptly, finding herself apologizing. Zayn immediately shook his head. "No, don't be. I'm sorry I didn't let you go sooner. Zayn had long since contemplated this issue when Nicole had returned to her family. He had been reluctant about it, but now with Nicole being pregnant, it was inevitable. Zayn could not let Nicole take any more risks. You should have told me earlier, Zayn said as he glanced at Nicole's stomach. Nicole was immediately shy and looked back at Jared. Did you break the news to him? Jared smiled. Joyous occasions should be shared. After all, he can be considered the child's god-grandfather. As soon as these words were said, Zayn's expression softened. Yeah, I can be the child's god-grandfather. Through the eyes of everyone, they knew that Nicole and Zayn had more than a subordinate-superior relationship. Zayn treated Nicole like his own daughter. But isn't saying her child is like my own god-grandson a bit too much? Nicole looked at Jared. This guy is smart. Zayn was already sad to have me go, but turning the tables to have Zayn be the god-grandfather had lightened up his mood. Nicole glanced at Zayn, who was in a better mood. She gave him a gentle smile. Of course, you have all the rights to that. Zayn immediately called Nicole over and said, "Come sit down. We'll have dinner together." It's on me. No one can talk me out of this. Jared smiled as Zayn offered to buy them dinner. Sure. Nicole sat down with Jared's help, joining Zayn. Zayn enjoyed the dinner together with the couple and he kept giving his blessing to them. It was not long until the meal was over. Zayn had to head back to the base and thus he bid farewell to Nicole. Upon reaching the door, Zayn said, "From now on, your withdrawal from the organization is effective. The future missions are the least of your worries now." Nicole's eyes became gloomy. Oh, I see. Nicole was reluctant to let that side of her go, but for the sake of her child, she had to let go of it temporarily. But if there's anything you need, both Jared and I will help you out. Nicole stared at Zayn. The sudden reassurance made him feel more at ease. I know. Zayn smiled. He was glad that Nicole had proposed this to him. He got in the organization's car and drove away. Nicole watched as Zayn drove away. I never thought I would leave the organization this way. Jared noticed Nicole's miserable look, and he brought her into a hug. Don't worry about it. I can help Zayn with the missions now. Nicole nodded. I understand that. It's just, I never expected myself to leave Zayn and the organization so early. I feel like it's all my fault. Nicole used to dream about following in the footsteps of Zayn. Even her return to the Riddle family had not given her thoughts to give up. But given the circumstances, Nicole had no choice but to give up both Zayn and the organization, which were dear to her heart. This kind of feeling is like I'm abandoning Zayn to fight this battle alone. Nicole was uncomfortable as she thought about it. Jared noticed Nicole's unwillingness to let go. He did not bring her directly back to the hotel. Let's go on a walk. I'll lead the way. Nicole nodded as she let Jared take the lead. The nightlife in Romania was bustling. However, none of it lightened Nicole's mood. The couple walked until they reached a fountain where they watched the colored lights of the fountain change and the water bursting into the sky, some getting caught by the wind before falling. The sight before them was soothing. Nicole's focus shifted a little. No one can be separated forever. In fact, Zayn had been prepared for this for the longest time. He has the capability to accept all these changes, said Jared. Nicole nodded. I know. It's just that when he was leaving in his car earlier, I saw a trace of his hair turning gray. For the longest time, Zayn was a fighter who had never lost to young contenders challenging him. But when did he turn old? The organization really needs people. If we all were to leave eventually, then Zayn would really be left alone. Jared raised his eyebrow. Isn't Carl with him? Nicole shook her head. The Turman family wanted Carl back. He's been procrastinating about it. He didn't want to inherit his family's business. It was unexpected that Nicole had left the organization before Carl did. Jared sighed. Since you're so reluctant to part ways with Zayn, I'll do my part and persuade him to retire earlier. As soon as these words came out, Nicole could not help giving Jared a blank look. Is this guy's brain fried? How could he even think of such things like this? However, talking about this had bizarrely improved Nicole's mood. She nodded subconsciously. I suggest you look into it later. Jared smiled. Okay. Their moods improved significantly as Jared held Nicole's hand as they walked back to their hotel. This trip to Romania is officially over. The next day, the both of them were prepared to return back to San Giotto on a private plane. Jared, on the other hand, was a little dissatisfied that his honeymoon was cut short. Our honeymoon turned into an execution mission, Jared thought. Are you sure you want to go home like this? Jared looked at Nicole with dissatisfaction written all over his face. Of course, Nicole replied, eating her fruit while looking out the window contentedly. Are you in a hurry to go back to school? Jared looked even more dissatisfied. His facial expression was bitter. It's just for the wedding preparations, all right? Said Nicole helplessly. I didn't have the time to think about these things before. Since Jared had declared I were to quit the organization, then of course, I have more than enough time to participate in this marriage preparation. You think? Jared was in disbelief. Of course, I have left the work to my mother and brothers before this, but now that I have some free time in my hands, I want to pick the hotel and my own wedding dress myself. This is normal, right? Jared smiled as he heard that Nicole wanted to make her own decisions. You're finally starting to care about our wedding. Before this, Nicole had always resisted any initiative, but now seeing her taking the initiative. Jared smiled as he thought about it. I thought you didn't care much about it, but the good thing is I have your wedding dress prepared. Nicole raised an eyebrow. Even if I don't care, you would have it ready anyway. Jared pondered for a moment. I just can't help myself, you know? From the engagement dress to the reception dress, Jared had been fretting over it in her stead. Who knew my wife would not care about things like these? Nicole raised her eyebrows helplessly and flipped her hair. That's because my natural beauty makes me look good in whatever I wear. So why should I even bother, right? It was very unexpected for Nicole to speak such egotistical words. Jared stifled his laugh. I really didn't expect my beloved wife to be so confident about her appearance. Nicole heard Jared's sarcasm and began to ponder. Of course, there are many things that I'm proud of. Jared curled his lips into a smile. Since you're preparing for the wedding, I won't be mad at you, but you have to take care of your body. Okay, don't worry about it, Nicole agreed. However, at this moment, Janice's frantic voice suddenly filled the cabin. Mr. Johnston, there are other planes approaching us. Jared frowned. Which direction is it coming from? No country would want to mess with them. Even if they were to approach, they would be detected on the radar. I'm not sure. It's a plain black helicopter, said Janice. Upon hearing that, Nicole immediately thought of the black helicopter at the port of Lanningborg. Nicole's expression immediately changed, knowing that there could be only one possibility. Perhaps. Maybe they've come to avenge their leader? If that's the case, then it's quite impossible for them to bring no backup. Jared, how many people do you have with us? Tell them to come out here to help us. Jared frowned. We've already left Romania's borders. Even if they were to fly here, it'd be completely impossible. Nicole gritted her teeth. She knew the truth, yet she knew she had to act anyway. Let Janice change the direction and head back to Romania. We can at least be safe in Romania under Zane's protection. They should be able to help us. Jared read Nicole's expression and instantly knew something was wrong. He did not speak up but instead gave instructions to Janice. Janice, turn around and go back to Romania immediately. Yes, sir. Soon, their private jet changed its direction. Nicole and Jared could see all the black spots of the helicopters behind them. The number of helicopters in the sky was completely remarkable. Jared immediately frowned. Why are there so many planes? It seems like I guessed right. The man in the face mask was a part of the same terrorist group we just took out. But then again, our whereabouts are kept confidential. There's no way they knew that we would be flying back to San Giotto today, Nicole thought. Are they here to get revenge? Nicole looked at Jared. Not only that, but also this. Nicole tapped on her watch and the fire crest appeared. They failed to get it from me before, and ever since then, they hadn't made any advances. I was concerned that they've been waiting for an opportunity. Situations where both Jared and I are completely helpless are of advantage to them, Nicole thought. While she was speaking, she whipped out her phone and pressed the emergency button to send out their coordinates. Nicole took a deep breath before speaking calmly. We've been flying out for about an hour now. If we can make it back in 20 minutes, Zane will definitely be able to pick us up. Otherwise, we'll be in danger. Jared stretched out his hand to hold Nicole's hand. We will make it back in time. At this moment, Jared's eyes became determined. No matter what happens, I'll do my utmost to protect Nicole. At this time, the black helicopters caught a glimpse of their plane turning around. They did not waste time, chasing after them. The masked man, who had one ear, had a face filled with hatred. You dare try to escape? Nicole, I'll kill you today. For my ears, and my brother's life, I'll get my revenge on her. Janice noticed the black helicopters had sped up. He increased their speed, putting aside the safety in the cabin, which caused a minor turbulence due to the airflow. Nicole felt a little nauseous. Pregnancy really made me so fragile that I can't even go through with minor turbulence without feeling sick. Jared noticed Nicole's complexion was not looking too well and came to her side. What's the matter? Nauseous? Nicole shook her head. It's just a little uncomfortable. Jared looked at Nicole with a distressed look, instantly regretting bringing her out for a trip. Never would I have thought that the Raven would be here. The people I sent for are coming by jets too. We'll be okay. If you're feeling unwell, just lean on me. Okay. Nicole nodded and leaned toward Jared. They managed to shake the Raven off their tail. The masked man was annoyed. Hurry up and chase them. I don't care if we have to chase them till the end. Get close enough and shoot them down. The masked man had everything figured out. As long as Nicole died and the fire crest was in his hands, he would give up everything. I won't let a chance go by, not for her to live another day. But sir, the sea is too vast. No more excuses. Even if we die, we can't let them escape. We're getting closer to the coastline, which gives them a bigger chance of escaping. I've waited so long for this opportunity. I can't have them escape again. Yes, sir. Everyone on board could only agree. Some started to zoom forward regardless of the wind speed, bumps in the air making them slow down. Helicopters were much slower than passenger planes. Sir, we can't catch up to them. One of the helicopters reported. They're heading for Romania. Change the route now. Get someone to intercept them. Yes, sir. Immediately, the helicopters changed their course and tried to intercept the plane. At this time, Nicole whipped out her laptop and was trying to hack into their electromagnetic waves and positioning system. It did not take Nicole long to hack into their system. A wave of helicopters turning around to the coastlines of Romania were shown on her screen. Nicole's face became distressed. Their choppers are equipped heavily with weapons. If we were to be shot by them, we'd lose control. Even if they want to intercept us, this will be very dangerous. Jared stared at the laptop screen and said with a cold expression, "Look up and see what type of machinery they have." Nicole raised her eyebrows as soon as she heard Jared's instructions. What do you mean? Jared smiled. My planes are all modified with rockets. As long as they're below sea level, we can withstand them. B-level rockets are fine too as long as they don't hurt the engine. NarrativeNook and A-level rockets can't bring us down immediately with just a single shot. Nicole had not expected Jared to have modified the defense measures on their jet. I didn't expect you to have such an impressive backup plan. Jared smiled. It's not only that. This jet has a missile defense radar system, but it hasn't been perfected yet, so it can't be used. Nicole was taken aback when she heard this. There's a missile defense radar? Yeah, but the cost is quite high, said Jared helplessly, since the technology hasn't been perfected. Nicole smiled brightly. "Give me the key, I'll go have a look at it." Jared's eyes brightened. "Of course. Why hadn't I thought of that? Nicole might be able to perfect this system." "Okay." Jared pursed his lips, before handing the key over to Nicole. Nicole quickly entered the aircraft's system. Nicole's face brightened as she entered the missile defense radar system. "This system is brilliant. All the latest versions." "Yes, the locating of missiles is quite accurate, but for the time being, this jet has yet to pass the legalization of weapons installation. So, it's quite useless now since it has yet to be perfected for the later phase." Nicole raised her eyebrows and smiled. "I bet you don't know that even if you can't have weapons legally installed, things like radar have various uses." Jared pondered for a moment. "What uses?" He was perked up, trying to listen intently to what Nicole was about to tell him. Those rockets on the Raven were all smuggled from the military. In other words, though their rockets don't have a radar system, they do come with radar functions. "What do you mean?" Jared seemed to have caught on to what Nicole had said. "What I mean is, they have the artillery shells of missiles, but for us, we have the system to control it. If we can crack the radar system inside their rockets." Jared understood instantly, his face turning happy. "Then their rockets are ours." "Yes." Nicole sneered. She felt like the heavens were helping her. "I'll try it now to see if I can hack into their systems." Nicole used the aircraft locator. "As long as they don't launch these rockets, I still have time to modify their course." Nicole sped up as she thought this. Jared stared at Nicole. Confidence filled her face before she peered out the window with a solemn expression. No less than 10 minutes later, Janice's voice sounded through the intercom. "Mr. Johnston, there are enemy planes ahead of us. We're about to be outnumbered." Jared's face expression hardened. "Go straight to them." Jared was determined to try and bet on what level the opponent's rocket firepower was. "Yes, sir." Janice nodded. Jared pulled Nicole into a hug. "This might get a little bumpy. Brace yourself." "Okay." Nicole nodded her head. While being protected by Jared, she continued cracking the system with ease. The other party noticed that Jared's jet did not slow down. "This fella must be crazy." "Sir, we've successfully intercepted them, but their plane doesn't seem to be slowing down," one reported to the man in the face mask. The man in the face mask rolled his eyes. "What are you waiting for? Shoot them down." "The last time this happened, she killed so many of my men, but this time, I'll kill all of hers. I can't lose any more brothers of mine. Otherwise, I'd have nothing left," the man in the face mask thought to himself. "Yes, sir." Everyone started to prepare their rocket launchers. It was not long before 3 to 4 rockets were fired toward Jared's jet. "Mr. Johnston, they've fired a rocket." Jared immediately pulled Nicole into a hug. 2 loud booms. "It seems like we were hit by 2 rockets." Jared's jet trembled violently twice, before the smoke and dust dissipated. "Nothing happened to them." Jared smiled. "It seems their rockets are nothing more than just shells." Nicole also let out a huge sigh in relief. "Don't be complacent. I haven't cracked into their system yet. How long do you think our jet can withstand the attack?" Jared knew, but he could only solemnly say, "I can only try to delay the time. Endure for a while. I'll try it when they launch the next time," said Nicole.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.